my wonderful fans from all over the world. I am Silvio, the wine entrepreneur, and you're on a journey of wine, spirits, culinary delight, and a good time. Welcome aboard and all aboard to Nationwide Wine. Please subscribe. Today I have an incredible winemaker, wine producer that hails from GoGi Winery, and his name is none other than legendary Kurt Russell. Thank you so much. You know, I learned from experience, you can't hug because
well, you get these in the way too. So.
Exactly. So, Kurt, a couple things about your wine, and I'm hoping that you'll tell us is, one, how do you open the wax bottles? Why the wax bottles?
Well, number one, I found that when I first started bottling wine, I started asking some questions about different styles, and there was also just the aspect of what I wanted to look at. I didn't plan on marketing my wine. It wasn't something that I was really thinking about doing because I just wanted to learn how to make wine. And I was introduced by Greg Gorman, who's this wonderful friend of mine, to Peter and Rebecca Work at Alpos.
Greg's a photographer,
Great
right?
photographer, yeah.
He's famous for the black and white.
He's also, he's done a lot of things. He's really well known. And back in the day when we worked together, he was doing one sheets for movies that we had done. And so he introduced me to Peter and Rebecca out in Santa Rita Hills, California. I'd just been working on a Tarantino movie, and unbeknownst, it was Death Proof. Yeah.
Death Proof. Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, the winery that I was looking at one day turned out to be theirs. So when I had the opportunity to meet them and get to talk with them, it was out there at their winery, and I felt there was a little bit of serendipity involved there. So anyway.
Because you and Goldie used to go to Burgundy, right?
Well, we used to go on wine trips wherever we could go. We'd take these bicycle trips. We loved taking them to Napa. We loved going to France and to Italy and Spain, and just had the opportunity to start talking with some of the producers there and some of the winemakers. And I, the dream started to form. And it came about in 2007 for me to have the opportunity to start finding out about it in the Santa Rita Hills area. There was something about the Pinots there that I found consistent, that I felt maybe this is a place where I could learn to do this.
The Pinot Noir is the holy grail of winemaking. And the reason being is because the Pinot Noir skin is real thin and fickle. In fact, I like to say the Pinotage, because I'm married to a South African woman, is a combination of Hermitage, also known as Cinsault, and Pinot Noir. I'm the earthly, grounded, rustic type of flavor, and my wife is the thin skin, fickle. But if you can really make a good Pinot Noir and finesse it, it's like a diamond in the rough. It's just absolutely incredible, and that's what these wines are. They're absolutely delicious. I think the adverb that I used, or adjective, was succulent. That was it. The other day when we were on Fox, that's what I called that. And what I called the Chardonnay, the Goldie Chardonnay, obviously named after Goldie Hawn, and Erinn named after Erinn Hudson, your daughter-in-law. I called the Chardonnay vibrant.
Well, I think what it is with all wines, of course, is it is literally the terroir. I mean, it's where they come from. It's what they're growing in. It's the weather patterns that are there. I think one of the things that's really exciting about Santa Rita Hills is that the fog that rolls in off the ocean, that's maybe 5-6 miles away from where the vineyard is, it rolls in so quickly that it goes from 85 degrees to 57 degrees, 56 degrees within like 45 minutes, and it shuts that grape down. When you shut that grape down, it stops everything. But the structure's great. And the next day, what's fantastic about that region, depending on the canopy that you're controlling, both the side canopy and top canopy, is that as the sun comes up and it begins to warm up, the volume of the grape begins to increase, and the mildew, or the water content that's on the grape from the night before, the must, it begins to dry, and that's when the breeze comes in and knocks that off, and then it continues to grow. So it's constantly constricting and expanding, and that's really, I think, what that kind of work on the grape is what gives it its great ability to have great structure. And this region, I think, is just one of the best in the world to grow.
And what's critical about grapes, just like human beings, is that it needs downtime.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just stress it out constantly. Otherwise, it's going to eventually become a bad grape. And that's exactly what Kurt's talking about, is that his grapes are getting the downtime. They're getting the rest time to essentially be the best that it can be.
But you want different sizes too, if you can. If you got chicks and hens, they like to refer to them as. In your bunches, if you can have smaller ones, smaller ones and larger ones together, you need some volume, but you also need some power. So the two of them together begin to work together when you're crushing.
That's
And
interesting. You just
I
told
also
me
use
something.
only
Thank you.
I only use first run. So I don't squeeze. I'm not having a second or third shot at it with squeezing them. I just use first run, which I think gives you the most powerful ability to work with. Then the key, as far as I'm concerned, is the barrels that you're going to put them in, the amount of oak that you have on those barrels, and what you want to do is find the best combination and percentage of usage of your clones to make it. The best way I ever heard it described was Rebecca saying, it's like you go to the county fair, you're making red delicious, I'm making green apple, we both like each other's pies, but then we decide to make a combo. Well, by doing that, we still have 100% apple pie, but it is now more complex. So if we do that with 4 or 5 different apples, we've got now an apple pie that has 4 or 5 different apples in it. We've got a very complex. There's 52 clones that go into Pinot Noir. And what I like, what Peter and Rebecca do at Amplos is they've got 7 or 8 that I think are really fabulous to work with. And during the 2 years that they're in barrel, you taste, you begin to figure out the chess game of how and what best clones, what they're doing that year, how are they best going to go together to give you what you want. And that's why I believe you can make a very wonderful Burgundian style Pinot and Chardonnay in that area, in that Santa Rita Hills area, because California has wonderful grapes, but if you just go with the power, you get a light heavyweight that's trying to be a heavyweight, and I think that's the wrong thing to do with Pinot.
And what's incredible, and it shows completely, in my opinion, in the Erinn Pinot Noir, because the color is like cherry juice. As a matter of fact, why don't we crack?
Yeah.
And if you want, I can crack for you, or you can show us
Well,
how to crack.
Yeah, a lot of people like to warm this up. I used to do a thicker top. The reason I did this is because
By the way, I'm sorry. When he talks about, I've seen video of Kurt, literally.
Yeah, well, these were hand waxed. I don't do them all anymore because it's grown a little. We're 11 states now, so I got.
Yeah.
But no, they are still hand done though. They're all
very much in the state of Pennsylvania.
One of the reasons I like this is, first of all, I just enjoyed the sort of look of it. I designed the bottle, and I thought that was a lot of fun to do. But I also...
It really is elegant, though.
Well, amazing. I think it is, and I think Pinot Noir should be elegant, and I think that good Burgundian-style whites should be elegant as well. But I've never had any problems with the wine going south with the wax on it.
The only potential issue is somebody doesn't know how to open the bottle.
Yeah, which is not a simple thing. What you want to do is you want to find the center cut here, right?
Right.
You want to go right down the middle and just.
And you want to use a double hinge.
I think a double hinge is best because you can really get to it. So what I like to do is just go right
straight down. Double clutch?
I call it double clutch. Yeah, it's a double clutch. But you just go right down the middle, and just drive through it, and then you don't need to be a baby with it. You just throw it in there, pop it.
So it's
and 2, and then you're out.
Two-part.
So it's not a big, some people sometimes would get concerned about
You want to
the
do
wax
this? You
being
want me to do
difficult.
it?
Here, I've done it. You go ahead and do it. And do the
Okay.
same thing. Some people like to warm it up a little. Some Soms like to warm it up a little bit. I don't think it really needs it, but make sure you get it in the middle.
Right.
And just
Most
take
important.
your time, drive right straight on through, go all the way to the bottom,
I
and
used to teach servers.
and then yeah. Well,
Right.
when you're doing a training session, that's what you do.
And I would tell them, think of the water gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then create leverage, and so.
I like to go straight down through and just pop.
And then
go to the
bring it
second
up back on the tee,
Right.
go to the same position again,
Yeah.
and once again, it's like you at the carnival shooting the water.
We might end up
in the
selling
pool.
more church keys than we do wine. But it's very simple. But I also find that it keeps things. Any kind of oxidization is very, very difficult for it to get through the Okay, so let's start with our
Chardonnay.
our Chard here.
Right.
I think that this region is wonderful for this. I won't be drinking any today because
But you can
I have to
definitely
take-
smell.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I actually work with my. I'm taking medications right at the moment. I can't drink.
But
I
thank
actually
you so much for.
Well,
for-
I work with Peter and Rebecca when I'm doing the different aspects of it. I work better with my nose than I do with my mouth. Anyway.
And I was going to say that's probably why you're a master blender,
I just
because
like
of the
the way
fact
it
you
smells.
guys
It smells
you
good.
have a great palate. You have a great palate.
You got a
because have
bucket
great-
somewhere. I'm not going to make this. I'm going to have a sip. But this is nice. It's fresh. And on the back of this, Silvio, I've written to that and I do feel like I will always be their apprentice. I feel like that's no matter how far you go.
Peter
along in the
and
game.
Rebecca
Peter work. And they have Amplos Vineyard, which is where we work out of.
which
and where they have their
means
own
what in
wines.
Greece?
From the earth, I think. Is it
Yeah.
from the earth or something like that?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
But this one is always dedicated to Goldie because it's fresh,
it's
crisp,
from
and
the
fun.
vine.
From the vine?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
All right.
But this is the one that
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. This is one of the. This wine is the one where some of the proceeds go to Goldie's Mind Up Foundation.
Mind up.
Mind Up, and
Okay.
she's now in 48 countries.
Amazing.
Well, millions and millions of kids have benefited from that Mind Up program, and I'm really, really proud of her for it, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So go
That's
ahead.
great.
Cheers.
That's Cheers.
And welcome to Pennsylvania. I haven't been here for a while. But
thank you. It's good
I
to
do
be
think
here.
this is fresh. I do think it's crisp.
Yeah, yeah, that's-
I think it's to me it's a wonderful wine to have in the afternoon with apples or a salad or anything.
If you look at it, it is remarkably translucent, a nice straw hay color. The legs on it, this means that the wine has viscosity. So it's nice and thick and there's something to it. It's not just weak and thin. And then after that, the nose. Let's talk about the nose.
It's just full. It's just
Ah.
this is Burgundian style. I mean, this is when you go to France, you find the elegance in their wines, and you also find the strength of the structure of their wines.
It's nothing buttery about it. Green
No,
apple.
I mean, it's not like, to me, I think that you have to have a good blend. You have to have a good, it has to have good balance.
Yeah, I'm getting green apple. I'm getting citrus.
It's you know,
Yeah,
it's made for people who like that style of
I'm
wine.
getting some melon, some kiwi. I mean, this thing is absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get a bottle of GoGi Wine and Chardonnay, and then we'll pour the Pinot Noir next.
All right, you work on that. This is my
Wow.
passion.
Oh,
This is
it's Erinn
this is
Pinot
truly-
Noir. Is this?
Yeah, I've
Here
been
you
doing
go.
this now
Thank
since
you.
2008, and I'll tell you, it's a nervous day, blending day for me, because you're
Next
coming.
time you blend, can I come?
Yeah, it's always fun it's really fun to have people there because you get different opinions and stuff, but it's sort of like whenever you're going to do a movie, if you're an actor in it, ultimately the director's vision is what you're trying to get on film. So you bring to the party whatever you can to try to help bring that vision there. The great thing about my wine is that it's my vision. So I'm all about talking to people, listening to people, but it's going to have to fit into my vision of what it is I want to do.
It's like winemaker, filmmaker.
Very similar to me, because especially the editing process, blending the clones for Pinot Noir to me are very, very similar to editing a movie. During the year that you've picked it, in other words, you've cast your roles, and then you've got to put the wine in the right barrels with the right amount of oak, and then you have to pull them at the right time, and you have to then get all the actors together to work together in the scene to then put what you're going to put in the bottle is the edited version to me of the movie.
I have always said, and it's been on my website since day one, every grape tells a story, every vine is a lineage.
That's
So when you drink a Vernaccia di San Gimignano, and you go to San Gimignano, and they have these beautiful towers.
Say that again, son.
Yeah. Vernaccia di San Gimignano. But what's amazing, if you follow the the roots of this, it's the same wine. It's a white wine that has an amazing mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Like almost like an extra virgin olive oil. It coats everything.
Yeah.
And you follow the roots of this wine. It goes all the way back to Michelangelo used to drink it when
That's
he
the
painted.
fun part of wine. Wine is literally, talk about legacy.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. I mean, there's only a few things that last through the millennia.
Yeah.
And certainly wine is one of them. And I think Pinot Noir, for me, there's that great saying that all great wine journeys end at Pinot. I honestly believe that. I don't think there's anything more interesting in the wine world than following and chasing the complexity of what's in a Pinot. Ultimately, you just have to like it. You got to want to chew on it a little bit. You got to like to drink it alone. You got to like to drink it with food. To me, that's why I make this, because I like it to be paired with great food.
Hey,
So here. Now, what do we got here, Erinn?
Erinn.
So this is Erinn. It's one of my favorites that of all the years that we've done. Erinn is a fantastic year.
And if you look at it, the wine, it's almost
Look at the legs on it.
exactly. It's almost like it looks like cherry juice, but yet when you sample it, and which I'm going to do any moment now.
That is.
And the line and
It's
and
good.
the legs on it, that's completely, there's so much power and force and flavor to this glass of wine. It's just absolutely remarkable.
What is your favorite food to drink with Pinot? What's your favorite food to eat, to drink with Pinot?
Yeah, you threw me a curveball there. You said, "What is your favorite?"
Yeah, that meant, yeah. I heard
was like,
myself.
"Well, I
I
don't
went,
drink my
actually,
food
I don't
now."
want to drink food anymore. I now eat. But what's the food that you like to drink Pinot Noir with? For me, for instance, it's elk. Elk to me,
I would
elk
have to
is
say
the
lamb.
perfect meat. Yeah, lamb is great.
Yeah,
Elk
yeah.
and lamb to me are my two favorite things.
And truth be told, like I've had horse before, I have not had elk. So
You haven't had elk?
I need to come to
We'll
your
have
ranch
to do
and
that
have elk.
sometime. Yeah,
All right?
that's another passion.
And,
of mine,
and I
'cause
like to ski also.
Yeah,
So-
pretty good skiing in that area.
Exactly. First time I went skiing. This is a true story, right? I went down. I thought I was going down a bunny. It was in Park City, Utah, and it was at Sundance Film Festival. And I thought I was going down a bunny
Turned
slope.
a little something else, huh?
It was a double black diamond.
Well, you're here to talk about
Exactly,
it. So
I lived.
You did pretty good.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Here's to
Cheers.
you. Thanks for having me here.
It's my pleasure.
It's
My
really
honor.
been fun, and I love being able to introduce my wine to Pennsylvania because that's because of you.
And thanks for allowing my company to distribute your just beautiful wines.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Ciao for now.